Elon Musk, the most powerful billionaire in America, sits before Congress. In front of him, billions in government contracts. Behind him, an empire of Tesla and SpaceX, propped up by $38 billion in taxpayer dollars. But across from him, Jasmine Crockett, a black congresswoman, a civil rights attorney, refuses to bow. She hurls two words straight into the face of power words that shook Washington fuck off. In that moment, the balance shifted. The air cracked open. On one side, a defiant billionaire mocking on social media, dismissing public outrage. On the other, a congresswoman striking back, charging that Musk has turned the Department of Government Efficiency into his personal vault. The battle spills beyond the courtroom, into the streets, into the kitchens of middle-class America, where bills pile high, where teachers lose funding, where workers are cast aside. This is not just another hearing. This is a fight for the soul of America. Who will prevail, the unchecked power of technology, or the people left behind? The federal courtroom in Washington, D.C., isn't some glamorous Hollywood set. No, this is raw reality walls, a dull gray-white stained by time, where justice often bends to money and power. The ceiling fan whirs like the pounding heartbeat of those awaiting judgment, blending with the rustle of papers and whispers from reporters crammed together. Their eyes sharp as wolves on the hunt, ready to pounce on a moment and turn it into breaking news. They're not just note-takers. They're moment hunters. A furtive glance, an unconscious hand tremor, a fleeting smile, enough to fuel sensational headlines on CNN, Fox News. Cameras click incessantly. Each flash is like a gunshot, starting a media war. The trial becomes a public stage. Reputations easily shattered. The public watches via live stream, from everyday folks in Texas to Wall Street investors, all drawn into the vortex of the case. At the center of the stage, two people, two worlds clashing like day and night, representing the conflict between tech power and civil rights struggles. Elon Musk sits there in a perfectly tailored silver-gray suit collar, crisp, not a wrinkle in sight, as if he's just stepped out of a Silicon Valley board meeting. He sits steady, one hand resting lightly on the polished wooden table index finger, tapping a rhythm, the beat of someone used to controlling everything from Tesla stocks to massive government contracts. The other hand twirls a silver pen gleaming under the lights, like an expensive toy in the hands of a privileged child, reminding everyone of his unparalleled wealth. Every movement exudes arrogant confidence, shoulders, straight chin, slightly raised eyes, scanning the room like he's evaluating a board meeting, not a trial where he's accused of conflicts of interest. And then that half-smile appears, not friendly but defiant, as if this whole affair is just trivial entertainment. Facing him is Jasmine Crockett, in a simple black suit, nothing flashy, hair short and neat eyes, calm but profound, like a frozen lake hiding a storm beneath. She doesn't smile, doesn't frown, just stares straight ahead, a piercing gaze that unnerves many, stripping away facades, from high-priced lawyers to senators seated behind. Her hands rest on a thin folder, not the thick stacks, like Musk's side, where expensive attorneys flip through endlessly full of data from SpaceX contracts. Just a few pages. But that sparsity carries weight. What's inside, razor-sharp evidence of unfair firings at Tesla, or just empty words from a lone congresswoman fighting a tech empire. She knows this isn't a fair game with the system tilted toward billionaires like Musk, but she's chosen to stand here in the collision of two worlds representing nameless victims. The judge's voice booms grave and echoing like distant thunder. Today's hearing examines the case against Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, accused of inciting boycotts, causing economic harm to Tesla, and making statements that cross boundaries, including rhetoric against SpaceX's government contracts. The gavel strikes the wooden block. Thud. A harsh sound hitting everyone's chest, like a reminder that justice here is often swayed by lobbying and money. The air tenses like a string about to snap, with reporters ready to capture every word. Musk's lawyer stands tall and imposing in a sleek black suit. Voice sharp and commanding, each word like a slash. "Your Honor, my client has been targeted by a baseless smear campaign. Ms. Crockett has urged the public against Tesla, a company advancing humanity from electric vehicles to Starlink satellites for national security." Her "fuck off" remark isn't just an insult. It's deliberate disruption negatively impacting markets and thereby harming national interests, especially with Tesla receiving billions in government contracts. He pauses, eyes sweeping the courtroom, emphasizing each word, like delivering a death sentence, backed by evidence from Crockett's tweets and speeches. Musk tilts his head slightly, glancing at Crockett. That half-smile reappears, full of challenge, as if saying, "You think you can touch me?" Camera lenses zoom in on Crockett's face, expression unchanged, only her eyes deep and icy, piercing through the system's layers, from Musk to lawyers to the judge where real power lies in backroom deals. Silence envelops. A tense beat stretches like breath held tight. Who will speak first? Who will break this deadly quiet? While outside public opinion boils, the courtroom is like a modern Roman arena, where tech gods face democracy's warriors, from Musk, with his $38 billion government empire, to Crockett, representing fired workers. Outside, through frosted windows, Washington, D.C. awakens, cars rushing, American flags waving. But inside, a storm, brews with Politico articles, exposing conflicts of interest. The halls of Congress, late February 2025. Footsteps echo rapidly on marble floors. Reporters swarm like bees from a disturbed hive. Microphones thrust high, trembling in the stifling air. Voices overlap, urgent. "Ms. Crockett, what do you think of Elon Musk's role in the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE? Will you continue criticizing budget cuts? Tesla and SpaceX getting new government contracts? What about conflicts of interest with Musk influencing the firing of thousands of federal employees? Musk's invitation to testify rejected. Your comment." Jasmine Crockett stops. In the line of fire. Not by chance. She's come a long way from Texas, where as a civil rights lawyer, she fought for victims of racial discrimination and exploited workers. As a congresswoman, she brings that fire to Congress, unafraid to confront injustice. When Musk joined DOGE, dozens of constituent letters piled on her desk. Texas farmers losing land to the gigafactory. Tesla workers fired without cause. Teachers losing classes due to budget cuts. She reads reports, nightly numbers, weighing heavy. 121,000 federal jobs slashed, billions flowing to Tesla and SpaceX. Musk shapes policy-pushing cuts to social programs run by USAID and the Department of Education, while his companies rake in hundreds of millions, from NASA's $843 million for SpaceX to the FAA's $2 billion for Starlink. Rage builds, like a storm about to erupt. She breathes deep. The scent of sweat and cheap cologne from reporters assaults her. Then she says it. Direct, concise, cutting. "Fuck off." Silence. A flash. A reporter's eyes widen. A microphone clatters to the floor. Camera flashes freeze mid-burst. Then an explosion. Shouts, whispers. Phones buzz non-stop. The clip spreads on X views, rocketing like a SpaceX launch from thousands to millions in the first hour. CNN Chiron scrolls. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett curses Elon Musk. Scandal erupts amid DOGE budget cuts, affecting Meals on Wheels and Head Start. Hashtag #FuckOffLon floods from jobless citizens to commentators blasting Musk as an immigrant stealing American jobs. Crockett doesn't regret it. This is a voice for nameless victims, farmers losing land, families losing meals on wheels, aid teachers facing inflation from economic downturns caused by Musk and Trump's efficiency billionaire style. The air thickens, flashes crackle, like knives at the throat. Musk fires back, lightning fast. In a dimly lit office at Tesla HQ in Austin, fingers fly over iPhone. That half-smile emerges. He posts on X, a no-name politician seeking spotlight by cursing. Pathetic. She should focus on work instead of envying progress, as Starlink provides internet to remote areas. Tesla leads electric vehicles. The post goes viral, millions of likes from fans, shares from Trump supporters, derisive comments. Crockett jealous of genius Musk, who saved billions through Doge. A flicker of annoyance in Musk, but mostly disdain. He's used to these battles where money from NASA SpaceX contracts and Doge influence serve as shields. He confidently bolsters his government savior image, despite hitting only 15% of savings targets. Crockett gets a midnight call from Democratic allies, voices anxious. Cool it. Musk has lobbyists everywhere in Congress. Anonymous texts flash on her screen. You'll regret messing with Doge, where he slashed 121,000 federal jobs. She lies in bed, staring at the ceiling, heart boiling. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. She recalls her ex-post calling for boycotts of Tesla and Starlink because Elon is unreliable in managing sensitive data, especially with user privacy concerns. Determination burns. She plans contacts with ex-Tesla employees, Texas farmers, and affected teachers prepping documents for upcoming hearings. The scent of printer ink wafts. Pen scratches paper. Congress is now an arena. Words can destroy careers. Anger simmers ready to erupt. 2 weeks later. Capitol Hill corridors. Shadows loom. Papers flip hastily. Urgent whispers echo off cold stone walls. Tesla and SpaceX Inc. nearly $1 billion in government contracts. Cybertrucks for the military, rolling through deserts and training ops. Starlink satellites for national security, thousands of artificial constellations orbiting beaming sensitive military data, including a fresh $250 million from the FAA for Starlink, even as the agency loses 300 air traffic controllers to Doge budget cuts. Approval speed is unusual. Papers overnighted. From closed-door meetings at Lux, D.C. hotels, where Musk, Doge advisors and senators whisper leveraging Trump influence to fast-track deals bypassing standard reviews. Stale coffee scent lingers. Dim lights cast long shadows like a web of power woven from backroom pacts. High heels click rhythmically. Phones buzz endlessly. Air thickens, like a forming storm. Musk in his Tesla office before a massive screen flickering stock data. Tesla shares up 12% in a day. SpaceX valuation jumps $50 billion. That half-smile sharpens eyes gleaming with satisfaction. Money flows like rivers pouring from new contracts, fortifying his empire amid federal budget slashes. Jasmine Crockett doesn't stay silent. On MSNBC's evening interview, studio lights blaze blindingly. Cameras zoom on her face, sweat glistening under hot halogens like a furnace. Voice ice cold, echoing through the mic. Musk lines his pockets through Doge, while people struggle with medical bills, utilities, losing aid from slashed social programs. This is fact, not envy. Words pierce Musk's genius savior image like a keen blade slicing through gloss. Meanwhile, Musk chuckles on a luxury yacht. Champagne pops like celebratory fireworks, toasting billionaires chatting billion-dollar deals like games. Elsewhere, middle-class American families sit in dim kitchens. Weak yellow light shines on worn wooden tables, bills piled like debt mountains. They scramble budgets amid rising inflation, food prices, up 20% electricity, doubled fallout from Doge federal cuts. Thousands suffer. 7,000 Social Security workers fired, delaying retirement benefits by 3 months. VA hospitals run short 200 nurses, hundreds of veterans waiting months for appointments. War wounds reopening untreated. Scent of stale bread wafts dry as deprived lives. Children's cries for food pierce heart-wrenching. Tears roll down a mother's cheeks, financial pressure like a knife at the throat. Crockett grips the mic, in the studio, eyes blazing fury. Her words like smoldering fire spreading fast through the media, igniting a public storm. Pam Bondi, Attorney General sworn in February, appears at a presser. The room is packed with reporters, flashes like gunfire illuminating her sharp face, eyes cold as ice. Voice booms through the mic. No one takes down Elon Musk. If Congresspeople incite boycotts of Tesla or SpaceX, causing economic instability, they'll be investigated. No exceptions, especially impacting national security via Starlink, providing connectivity for U.S. military and NATO allies. Words hang like a suspended sentence, shaking Washington, freezing the air. Bondi guards Musk like an ice queen shielding a billionaire throne. Clicks incessantly. Air thick, heavy as toxic fog. Bondi stands tall, hands gripping the podium, eyes slicing through the crowd like knives, piercing, jostling reporters. Questions rain. Attorney General, is this threatening free speech? When Crockett just states facts on 121,000 job cuts. Bondi smiles coldly. No, this protects the nation from incitement, harming the economy and security. Words spread like poison, seeping into power's corners, from congressional halls to lobby offices, making lawmakers hesitate, public opinion boiling. In Congress's dark halls, whispered calls hiss like venomous wind. Republican allies warn Crockett, stop or lose your oversight committee seat, where you demanded Musk's subpoena for conflicts. But Crockett, in her small office, hand-clenching phone, resolved stronger than ever. She contacts the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, requesting docs on Tesla labor violations, including union busting via Musk's tweet threatening stock benefits and unfair firing of 150 Austin workers. She meets UAW reps gathering testimonies from ex-employees on 16-hour exhausting shifts, fired for demanding rights. The scent of old papers wafts dusty with time. The desk lamp's yellow glow illuminates the cluttered desk. Phone buzzes, non-stop anonymous texts. You'll regret opposing Musk. Crockett grips the phone, eyes flashing, fire, heart pounding like war drums. She won't back down. Won't silence. The storm approaches from dim halls to boiling streets. America is like a web of money and power, woven from invisible threads. Everything moves, fast, silent, dangerous. Crockett at the eye, from fuck off spreading into a movement. The system shakes. She advances, determination ablaze. The battle has just begun. Amid Congress's roar, fiery speeches on Doge and budget cuts, outside, a movement quietly sparks, like fire under ashes, starting in small Texas groups and spreading. Middle-aged women, silver-streaked hair, worn worker shirts, stained with grease and dust from assembly lines. They were Tesla employees, human machines on future electric vehicle lines at Gigafactory, Texas, and Fremont, where shifts drag 12 to 16 hours daily. They carry scars, lung diseases from factory toxic fumes, endless prescriptions for back and joint injuries from exhausting hours, and sudden job loss without compensation, often for joining unions or safety complaints. They name themselves Mothers Against Musk, a small but resilient group, meeting in cheap rented rooms in Austin suburbs, sharing stories of Tesla union busting. Many were fired for joining the United Auto Workers UAW, weak yellow light, from an old desk lamp shining on scarred wooden tables, papers scattered. Cheap coffee scent mingles with sweat and tears from long storytelling hours. Crockett arrives. No fanfare, no bodyguards. Just notebook and resolve from her civil rights lawyer past. She sits among them, listens to every detail from OSHA reports on safety violations, leading to fatal electrocutions at Austin plant. Injury rates double the auto industry. To complaints of racial discrimination at Fremont, black workers called slurs, paid less than peers, fired without cause, leading to 2025 class action suits. One woman, Maria, voice trembling but furious. "I was fired right after collapsing in a 16-hour shift from inhaling lithium battery fumes. No compensation. No medical aid. My kid dropped out to work, while Tesla gets billions in NASA and Space Force contracts." Maria adds, she saw a coworker severely electrocuted by high-speed lines, but the company hid OSHA reports to dodge millions in fines. And when she complained, threatened with immediate firing. Another woman, Rosa, interjects, "I was fired by Tesla for joining UAW. They threatened us, monitored every move via factory cameras. Even Elon Musk posted on social media, saying he'd cut stock benefits if we unionized." The NLRB ruled Tesla violated labor laws since 2018, and it's still happening in 2025. Crockett listens, hand scribbling notes on high turnover and HR bias, where ex-employees pushed out for reporting issues. She sees herself in them women of color, fighting from society's bottom, like when she defended discrimination victims in Texas, and now fueling her resolve against Musk, who cuts Doge budgets affecting millions but exploits labor to build an empire. Musk jets private to a Las Vegas tech conference meeting for $5.9 billion Space Force contracts on rocket launches and Starship spacecraft. Meanwhile, Crockett collects Tesla labor contracts, payroll showing workers paid 20% below auto industry average photos of unhealed work injuries like chemical burns, and NLRB reports on Tesla blocking unions, including Musk's tweet lawsuit, where he threatened employee stock rights for unionizing. In that room's silence, a small alliance forms, from these mothers to links with UAW and others. Not noisy like street protests, but with hidden explosive power, like a time bomb waiting. Group plans testimony at congressional hearings, connecting to 2025 racial class actions, spreading via X with immigrant mothers against Musk. Crockett hugs Maria, whispers, "We'll bring the truth to light from unfair firings to conflicts of interest." The women stand, embrace. Resolve spreads through social media and UAW alliances, from Austin to Nevada. Hope flickers, though power's shadow looms with Tesla facing ongoing NLRB complaints. Hearing day at Congress, early morning. Fog blankets Capitol Hill. But the meeting room sizzles, like a furnace. Lawmakers from both parties pack in, eyes tense. Musk enters, luxe suit gleaming under crystal chandeliers. The legal team surrounds like elite troops, hands on thick files of government contracts, ready to defend an empire taking $38 billion on subsidies and deals, including $22 billion from NASA and Space Force for SpaceX. He sits, fingers tapping polished wood, confidence radiating, stressing Starlink's progress, connecting users in war zones and remote spots, and Tesla with millions of EVs sold, ignoring conflict of interest critiques amid Doge cuts. Air thickens, whispers buzz, like poisonous wind before a storm. Crockett rises, in hand, a thin folder, holding OSHA reports on VO 200 annual Tesla factory injuries and ex-worker testimonies. She sets it down. Thud echoes. Sharp, like cocking a gun. All eyes lock, from lawmakers to reporters. Then the door opens. A former Tesla worker enters. Gaunt man, pale skin, voice shaky but clear. I was fired after collapsing in a 16-hour shift, lost insurance. My wife sold our house for medical bills. Tesla hid safety violations to avoid OSHA fines. He details the 2124 Austin electrocution death of worker Victor Gomez Sr. from unpowered panels per OSHA. When joining UAW, fired violating NLRB rulings in Musk's tweet case. Images projected on big-screen OSHA reports, noting Tesla injury rates double industry, plus 50 worker testimonies on exhausting shifts and unfair firings. Clicks incessantly. Air heavy. Lawmakers exhale sweat, beating on brows fearing ties to Musk donations. Musk leans half-smile gone, replaced by subtle frown. He recalls Crockett's ex-post. Musk exploits. Workers hides accidents while taking billions from government funds. Crockett says little. Testimonies and images speak like poisoned arrows to the system's heart. She adds, Musk cut $7,000 Social Security jobs, fired VA veterans. Questions reign. Intense. Mr. Musk explained OSHA reports and NLRB rulings. Ms. Crockett, is this evidence of Doge corruption? Reporters scribble madly. Hashtag Mothers Against Musk explodes on X, 5 million views in 24 hours. Crockett stands firm, eyes direct. Truth speaks. Musk whispers to lawyers prepping counters with Doge savings data, but cracks widen, from the hearing room to the streets. The hearing continues. Early morning fog still cloaks Capitol Hill, but inside the meeting room stifles. Like an incinerator. Polished wooden chairs crammed with bipartisan lawmakers. Eyes scanning each other, whispering discreet questions. Reporters pack the back cameras, clicking flashes like bullet rain. Musk enters again. Sleek black suit, perfectly tailored like a tech king reclaiming the throne. Legal team encircles each with dense contract data files, ready to defend the empire. He sits fingers, tapping polished wood, confidence shining. Voice booms through mic. We're shaping the future. SpaceX with Starship will land astronauts on Mars by 2026. Uncrewed tests first, and Tesla leads with 70% US EV market share, over 2 million sold this year, cutting global carbon emissions. Whispers spread. Like a venomous wind, reporters jostle, click, incessantly air, thick with stale coffee and tense sweat. Crockett rises. In hand, new folder. Holding Treasury financials revealing Tesla's $1.2 billion tax subsidies from 2023 to 2025, plus internal Tesla reports on 30% turnover from harsh conditions. Employees exhausted by 12-hour shifts, no breaks leading to 25% accident rise per internal data. She sets it down. Thud small but keen, like a knife through the facade. All eyes focus, from lawmakers to reporters. Then the door opens. Ex-Tesla engineer Jane Carter enters, voice calm but firm. I quit after reporting racial discrimination at Fremont. Black workers called slurs paid 15% less than white peers fired for complaining. I saw 3 colleagues dismissed for demanding fair pay. She presents 2024 internal emails from Tesla managers. Ramp production, despite safety. Prioritize 1 million vehicle goal. Ignore racial complaints to avoid lawsuits. Images projected on big-screen internal charts showing 500 Fremont injuries on 2023 to 2024, from chemical burns to fractures from high-speed lines, plus clear pay disparities between black and white staff. Cameras zoom faces. Lawmakers, silent sweat beating on brows, fearing exposure of $5 million Musk donations for their re-election campaigns. Crockett continues, voice echoing through mic. This isn't just Musk. It's a rotten system favoring billionaires, abandoning people from slashing 121,000 federal jobs to billion-dollar contracts flowing to Tesla and SpaceX, from tax subsidies to Treasury payment system access. Words like bombs shaking the room, whispers erupting like waves. Questions pelt, like gunfire. Mr. Musk, your response to internal emails on production, ramp up and 30% turnover. Ms. Crockett, evidence on Starlink data abuse, connecting 10 million military users. Reporters shout, #Nasya Doge cuts. Tops. X trends, 10 million views in the first hour. Crockett stands firm, eyes aflame. Truth spreads from Jane Carter's testimony to Reuters articles exposing murky SpaceX Space Force deals, revealing Musk's $5.9 billion for Starshield, military Starlink version. Despite Doge's 10% defense cuts, Musk whispers to lawyers, prep counter. Starship data will dominate with 2026 Mars plans, uncrewed first, crewed after. But the atmosphere shifts. Public boils from X to Nevada streets where Tesla workers strike for fair pay and safety. The system shakes. Cracks spread. Uncoverable. Lawmakers whisper, fearing scandal hits campaigns. Reporters mob exits, phones buzzing. Crockett smiles subtly. The battle now is not personal, but against the system. Fury blazes, unquenchable. Back in court. The judge declares, voice heavy, echoing through mic. Ms. Jasmine Crockett will continue investigation for economic influence, from statements inciting Tesla and SpaceX boycotts, causing market instability. The case remains open. Gavel strikes. Thud. Harsh sound like prison door locking. Air tense, all eyes on both sides. Musk sits motionless, face stone cold, no familiar half smile. Inwardly, a temporary draw, but the empire stands with new $5.9 billion Beach Force contracts, flowing, though Doge disbanded. He rises, bodyguards walling like a living barrier, striding out confidently, whispering to lawyers, "We'll crush this at higher levels." Parallel action. As Musk enters black limo, Crockett breathes deep, hand clenching thin folder, inwardly surging, not defeat. The proof system protects billionaires, but truth spreads from her tweets, demanding Musk's subpoena for conflicts to nationwide protests. Crockett exits the courtroom, facing thick press swarm cameras zooming close, flashes exploding like fireworks. Reporters barrage. Ms. Crockett, thoughts on Attorney General Bondi's warning. Regret calling to take down Musk. She pauses. Moment stretches eyes, scanning crowd, no tremble, no hesitation. Inwardly, recalling Bondi's TV words. No one can take down Elon Musk, and her ex retort. I'm not calling for violence, just justice. She breathes deep, voice concise, firm, cutting noise. This isn't the end. It's just the start. Musk may leave Doge, but the damage he caused, slashing USAID budgets, firing thousands of federal workers, favoring Tesla contracts, while people lose aid, won't vanish. We'll keep fighting. Words like arrows sparking applause from some reporters, cameras capturing every gesture. Outside, hundreds of middle-aged women, mothers against Musk, hoist banners, bold red letters. Fuck off, Elon. Not just Austin moms. Movement spreads linking to Fremont racial class actions, NLRB anti-union busting rulings, nationwide anti-Tesla protests. One mom, Maria, shouts, "We lost jobs, homes from 16-hour shifts and unfair firings." Chants echo like thunder beyond courtroom walls, flowing into streets, from D.C. to Nevada factories, where Tesla workers strike for compensation. Sensory images, banners fluttering, hoarse voices nearby, protest. Smoke wafting. Crockett, inwardly, empathy surges, seeing power in nameless victims like leading Doge conflict probe, where Musk promised $1 trillion savings, but hit 15%, causing economic recession. Musk from limo scrolls X on phone, inwardly irked. Crockett persists with latest tweets calling him government wrecker and criticizing Doge exit as fleeing wreckage. He tweets a quick retort, A no-name politician keeps seeking spotlight by cursing. Doge saved America from waste. Now they're just envious. Tweet virals millions likes from fans, but thousands backing Crockett. She's right. Elon stole jobs from farmers and teachers. Parallel action. As Musk jets to California, Crockett joins the crowd. Hugs Maria, whispers, "We'll subpoena him again in oversight." Movement erupts on social thwon. Mothers against Musk, merging "Wan and fuck off Elon," turning curse to anti-corruption symbol, with Politico and Newsweek articles exposing Bondi's warning and Crockett's "fuck off" as spark. Pace intensifies crowd chants. "Fuck off," in echoes boom. Cameras flash. Crockett raises fist. "We won't stop." Across, Musk calls lawyers. Prep appeal. Protests spread. Crockett's new tweet, "Musk left Doge, but we're here fighting." Media reports. Crockett leads conflict probe. Musk inwardly. "A crack, but he'll patch with money and influence." Crockett inwardly. Satisfaction as though case open truth shifted opinion, from failed oversight subpoena to nationwide protests. Crockett stands amid the crowd eyes, distant amid banner sea and chants. In a world where justice is imperfect, the fight goes on. Musk may depart, but Crockett's words have ignited an unquenchable movement. And sometimes, simple words can change everything from a lone congresswoman to a wildfire of resistance across America.